Welcome to SPINPRO17.com. Hello and good day, everyone. Welcome to SPINPRO17.com, the state-of-the-art matrix calculator. Today, we're going to give you a brief video demonstration tutorial on just how simple it is to use our state-of-the-art algorithm-based matrix calculator to allow you to profit far more than you've ever before, as well as have the consistency that you truly desire. Now, there are a couple of points that we want to point out before getting into this, and it's regarding our proprietary numbers, okay, and our sequence of numbers. First of all, because of the privacy of displaying the numbers for customers who are paying or who have paid, it is obviously unfair for us to be able to show the actual numbers that is produced by the matrix calculator when a spin comes. We are going to improvise just to show you how the system works in a short time frame and how powerful it is. We are going to choose from a random set of numbers without actually displaying the true matrix sequence numbers. But you will be able to understand, having the actual numbers, how simple it is to use. Now we're going to use just one of our four powerful systems that, believe it or not, will and can generate hundreds, if not thousands of dollars per week. First, let's give you a couple of brief points that are very relevant to all of this. Once you sign up for the calculator, the matrix calculator, which has the numbers on there, you're obviously going to go here where it says subscription plans. You're going to select the subscription plan, and once you have purchased a product, you are then going to go to the matrix calculator. At that time, you can simply click, there's nothing to download, click on it, and it will open. Once it opens, you will also have the availability of training videos. So we have multiple training videos. We have 4 training videos for each specific system. And in the videos, we actually tell you which we feel are the best of the 4 systems. Okay, we actually favor 2 of the 4. However, all 4 are powerful, but depending on your level of play is which one, will make you comfortable. They are all individually will make you huge profits. There's also a written training instruction manual with each of those 4 systems have the actual written sequence of how you should select your numbers and how to properly use the calculator. Along with this written training instructions, we've provided you a money management schedule, which allows you to have a daily profit target you would like to make. Okay, so as we move forward, I think this next illustration is very important, that we have a sense of understanding that certain things must be followed, and certainly what you're actually getting when you have the matrix calculator subscription. So we begin by illustrating here. You're going to get 4 training videos, as in bullet point 1. Okay, there are 4 separate training videos for each of our dynamic systems. You're also getting written training instructions for each of our premium systems. It's the same systems. You're getting an exclusive management spreadsheet, which will allow you to make a desired profit target each day. And the best thing is there's nothing to download, with the exception of the management spreadsheet, of course. That's just a spreadsheet you can actually print out. And you can use this on any mobile device. So there's no need to write any numbers down. There's no need to have a separate page or paper with matrix numbers. No need to make mistakes using the wrong numbers. It's all going to be in front of you. And again, crystal clear. And you can actually set the calculator again to the adjusted desired targets you want, and as you see fit, whether it be $2 per spin, $5 per spin, $7 per spin. So you can also use this at a brick and mortar casino, a live casino. Of course, not on a live table. We've said that 100 times already in different emails and comments back and forth with customers that you just can't use an electronic device at a live table. However, at casinos, not online casinos, but at physical casinos, there are roulette type slot machines. Um, and certainly there are airball machines, and we advise people not to use the airball machines because there's only 20 seconds for you to get your bet down. And trying to put your numbers into the calculator for the odds and you get your invest amounts and so forth, you're going to chip away at those 20 seconds, and you're really going to have 7 or 8 seconds to try to get your numbers down. It's not going to work unless you have like 40 seconds and you have a predetermined amount that you're going to invest. So without further ado, let's jump into the actual video again of how the systems work. And please remember, these are not the actual numbers because, for, privacy purposes or for the customers who are paying, we cannot show that. But we're going to give you exactly how it was set up and how it will be set up that you're going to be playing. And even with how we're going to do it, we're still going to show you a profit. So let's jump right into our next segment so we can show you how to use the system. Okay, so the first part of this is the understanding the matrix calculator. Now, this is extremely important. The first thing you do is obviously, you're gonna set a bankroll. Let's say we're gonna use $1,000. In this case, because the demonstration we're going to be using, we're using a minimum of $1 units. Okay, some people have the availability of using 25-cent units or 50-cent units or 60-cent units, whatever have you. So if you're going to be playing with certainly less than $1 minimum units, you need to have a minimum of 1,000 units. So if you have 50-cent coins that you're using or a 50-cent chip, 1,000 50-cent chips is going to be $500. So the bottom line is you must have a minimum bankroll of 500 if you're playing with less than $1 units, and a minimum bankroll of at least 1,000 or more if you're going to be playing with $1 or more units. So in the invest column, when that pops up, you have to think of this as units. So we're using 1,000 units. And again, in our case here with this demonstration, it's $1. So it's $1,000. Now, this is the important factor as well. Excuse me. Your adjust to the desired target profit per investment. What you're basically saying by putting this into the calculator is, this is what I would like to make per spin. Now, this is not like martingale and all these other highfalutin progressive system where you're doubling up and tripling up, whatever have you. This calculator will protect your bankroll. Okay, if you're ahead of where you should be, it'll keep your invest amounts low and continuously keep it low and until you exhaust any profits if you happen to have a losing run. And no one is exempt from that. There are times you may have 2 or 3 misses, and that can happen. But your hit rate is so consistent, so high that you're gonna, excuse me, basically, generate a profit really quick. The other thing is, again, setting this amount. We recommend everyone start off with $2 desired target profits per investment. For this demonstration, again, for proprietary reasons, for privacy, we're not going to use $2, so you can see the actual amounts. We're going to use $7, okay? And we're going to show you, even with $7, how quick it is that you're going to make your targets. Now, one thing I want to make clear to everyone, this is a very good thing about the calculator, is as you go along, you can change this, when you start a session to either, any amount that you want to make per spin. Of course, the invest amounts are going to get higher because you're asking for more per spin. So even though we recommend 2, some people may start off with 3. Some people may start off with 5. And that's just a good thing of having the calculator. Depending on the system of which one of our systems you're using out of the 4, the odds are going to be different. For this specific demonstration, we're going to use odds of 35 to 1. Okay, and now it says here, invest $2 or 2 units. So it says invest 2 units. In this case, because of the wheel we're using, it's $2. But we're going to use that 2 units and times how many numbers that we're using. So if we're putting out in this sequence of numbers, it's 5 plus the number that came down. So we're going to have 6 numbers at a time. So 6 times 2 is your first bet's going to be $12. Now, when you have a hit, you will put your total amount in the return column. Now, this I want to make very clear to the entire world. Yes, you can make $50, $100, $200 per hour easily. However, the whole idea behind our strategies is to keep you off the wheel as quickly as possible. I know there are people out there who talk about tracking and all that stuff. Our matrix sequence numbers is exactly to prevent that, because the wheel does not know where you're going next because of our sequence numbers. So whatever it comes down to, when it comes down to the actual selections of numbers, the sequence is going to be produced by the current spin number. And once you have hit a $25 or $20 or more, I think that's reasonable. Once you have made 20 or more units, in this case $20 or more, you shut it down. You log out of the casino and X off and take a break for at least 10 minutes or more before you continue forward. Okay, so once again, you make $20 or more, 20 units or more, you take a break, 10 minutes or more, and you come back again, make your target. If you're going after a daily target, space it out. You do it in sessions. You do not try to do this all in one shot. Okay, if you really truly want to make, a couple of thousands a week, certainly few thousands a month, and we're talking about 5, 6, 7,000 a month, you're looking at a 50, 60,000 a year supplemental income coming in without any problems. And you're going to have it very nice and simple. But if you're going to make, $700,000, $800,000 a day times 30 days, which casino is going to let you get away with that? The first month or two, but then after that, they'll freeze your account, shut you down. Then you're going to wish you had you kept it simple and stayed under the radar, just making a few hundred a day, or using our money management schedule that you make exactly what we tell you to make. And you're looking at a few thousands a month, very easy and very quietly. Okay, so let's move on forward here. Now, the current spin number. This is a very important factor. Excuse me. When you have a number that comes down on the wheel, you're going to input it into this box. Once you put the spin number, automatically the matrix sequence numbers are going to appear right here. Okay. So without having, unfortunately, we can't show that here. Okay, because if we put the number down here, it's going to pop up the matrix sequence numbers. This is not going to be fair to paying customers. Okay, but we're going to give you a demonstration of how it works. But once you put the sequence number, like let's say the number 0 comes, it's not going to show anything. Okay, we consider 0 as to be a loss. But once you put 0 in here, the sequence numbers are going to appear. Okay, and let's just say you put in the and unfortunately, we're going to have to black this out. But once you put in the number 1, these numbers here, or we're just going to block them out for again for privacy reasons. And you would just bet on each of these numbers. Once you have a hit, you have a hit. If you have a miss, you will continue by decreasing the odds, which means your next odds is going to be 34 in case you have a miss. And whatever the calculator tells you, that's what you're going to invest per number. Now, keep in mind, again, we're looking for a target of 20 units or more. And I know some people are going to say, well, on your first spin, you've made your $20 target. So you're out. Now you can take a break. But if you were playing with 25-cent coins, you're not making $20. Even if you got 20 units, it's not $20. It's, $5 or $6 or whatever the case may be, how much you invest amount is times that, right? So you might have to play a little more frequently. That's why we say have the better bankroll, use the better chip value, which is 50 cents or $1 or more. Okay, so every time you have a miss, you're going to decrease the odds, and you are going to do what the calculator says, whatever it is. There's going to be times you may not come out ahead if you happen to have few misses, but once you do, you're going to make your profits. Now, if you happen to hit, but you didn't come out ahead because of a few misses, the calculator is at least going to generate a lot of your lost investments. It's going to return that to you. It's going to keep you in the game. It's going to bring you, pretty close to break even or having a profit. Certainly, there's going to be times you're going to miss 1 or 2 spins, and that can happen. So always remember too, as well, the different systems come with different odds. Okay, so that's why it's also critical. Okay, and this amount is obviously going to change. For instance, and we're going to make this clear to you, let's say your first bet was 12. Okay, because you had 6 numbers times 2 is 12. Now let's say you had a miss. If you notice something, it's saying 2 again, that's fine. because the odds what it pays obviously supersedes what your return is going to be. I mean, what your investment was. Okay, so excuse me. Let's say now you have 18 here. Okay, actually, wait. You have You're going to have 12 times 2 will be 24. Okay. Now let's say you missed there, and this is all based on a $7 adjustment target per investment, right? Now this becomes 33. This is still staying at 2. Okay. If this were to be higher, we're just going to show you here as a reference. Okay. So you have a $1,000 bankroll. Now let's say you put in 13 as your desired target profit. Okay, you put in odds of 35 to 1. Your first bet was 12, 2 units times 6 numbers. Let's just say you missed. Now it says 2 again. So we're looking at 12 times 2 is 24. Now notice this goes to 3. Now, if you had 18, that would be 54. Okay. And let's say you missed again for some reason. Usually you're going to hit within the first 3. Now it goes to 5. However, here's the difference. That's using 13. If you were using a different number, okay, because this is all important that you understand this. If you were using, say, 4, notice what happens here. Okay. It was 12. Then it was 24. Okay. And then it was 36, not 54. And even if you went to 32, look, then it went to 3. Okay. So, excuse me, this is going to change. And this is why we say, please do not write these numbers down and think you're not going to use the calculator. Even if these were the same constant, what's going to happen is you go later on down here, based on what your profits are at that point, some of these numbers will change. This may not be 3 over here. Okay, so let's just say you had a hit here and you're 12, 24, 36. The next one may not be 3. It may only be 2. Okay, and even if you had a couple of misses, it may not be 3. It might be 6. So you've got to follow the calculator. Okay, so let's get cracking here with the actual play and show you how this works. The first thing we're going to do is we'll set ourselves up. Excuse me. We'll go to when you have access to the calculator, you're going to click on the top. It says Matrix Calculator. Okay, and you're going to set up there. So now the calculator opens up. Now what you're going to do is you're going to set your bankroll. So I'm going to put 1,000 on here. And again, when you have your subscription, you're going to get training videos on all of this, exactly how to use the calculator and how to use it and your numbers and all that stuff. So no need to worry. The calculator is never set usually until you see zeros across the board, coming down here and coming down here. And it depends. So now we're going to use 6, I guess, as our value for our adjusted target per investment. Now you see all these zeros here? That means the calculator is set. If you don't see zeros on these columns, that means it's not set, because in the beginning you will see 2, and certainly if you want, you can always hit clear. Okay, and hitting clear will, obviously clear the calculator, and you can always hit save and come back to it later. So again, we want to just reiterate this portion of it, so no one sits there and say, well, how come my investment amounts are not changing? It's because you didn't set the calculator. Okay, so 1,000. Now this shows 2 here, but it's not lit up. Okay, it's just showing you that that's where you input your information. So we're going to use 6. We're going to use 35 to 1 odds. And of course now, with the current spin, again, for proprietary reasons, we can't go there, but let's get to the wheel. Okay, so now ordinarily what would happen is you would force a spin. You would put 1 on red, 1 on black. So we're starting with, let's just show you this. We're starting with $1,000 bankroll. Okay, and we'll set the time off in a second again. But we're starting with $1,000 bankroll, and what you're going to do is you're going to set 1 on each, red on black. So, I mean, the only thing could happen is if a 0 comes, okay, you just lose 2 chips. But most of the times that won't happen. And we force a spin. Okay, so now number 22 comes down. What would happen here is in this column here, you will put in the number 22. And once you put the number 22 down, the matrix numbers are going to pop up. Okay, and you're going to see all 6 numbers. Now, obviously, we cannot show that because this is a demonstration video for the public to see. Okay, if you were a member, like we are logged into the actual member calculator portal, the sequence of numbers are going to come. Okay, we're going to set the time here. We're going to see, okay, how quick will we make 20 bucks? So we're just going to set a time. Like I said, we were saying 11:03. Let's just make it, because we can actually set it out at, let's say, 11:19. Okay, just rounding it. Oh, 11:20. Sorry. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to start here. Now, obviously, I'm not going to put in the actual sequence numbers for the number 22 because that would be, again, unfair. So I'm going to spin the wheel a few times. Okay, let's hope 0 doesn't come. Okay, and I'm just going to choose a number randomly from here, and I am not going to show which of the numbers that I'm using, and I'm going to put the sequence in for that specific number. Okay, and we'll go in there. Okay, I'll show you the power of this thing. It's unreal when you think about it. Okay, see which number I'm going to use here. Hang on. All right. Let's just assume whatever the number is. I'm going to do this as if, again, without revealing which number of the wheel that I'm actually using the sequence for. I'm just doing it so I can show you how the system works. Okay. So I am using the specific sequence of a number. Okay. And I'm just going to plug them in. Okay. For that sequence. So I'm going to bet 2. Okay, so let's just say whatever that number was that you put into the current spin number. Okay, and of course it would be whatever your last number is. In this case, I'm not using what my last number is, but whatever the number was that came down on your wheel. Let's say after you spun the zero, after you did your 4th spin and you have a number, you put it into the current spin number. You put it into the calculator, and it will obviously generate all 6 numbers here, including that number plus the other 5. So you're going to have 6 numbers. So what we're going to do is, it says here, 2 units, okay, times the odds is 35 to 1. 2 units times that many numbers. One thing I want to illustrate real quick. Don't worry about the pay column. The purpose of this pay column is when you have single outcomes. Like if you were just playing one number, and whatever the odds pay, like 35 to 1, you put it in here, it should come out saying, okay, it's 36, and you have 2 numbers, it will show automatically 72 in the return column. Okay, so we're not going to worry about the pay column. Don't worry about it with any of our systems. People use this mostly if they're playing single number situations, or black or red with even money odds, or they're playing, which we obviously don't sanction. None of our systems have black or red, or any odds that are less than 11 to 1. Or if you're playing sports or whatever the case may be, use the pay column. Okay, so in this case, we're betting 12. Okay, that's our first spin, and we chose a number from here. And these were the actual corresponding numbers to that sequence for that number that we chose from this group of numbers. Normally, after your first spin, your number was 22. So you would have gone with the sequence of the number 22, but you didn't. Okay, so here we go. First spin, you had a miss. Perfect. So you spent 12. I'm going to put that in here. Now, what we're going to do is what the calculator says is 12. So we're going to put in 34 in here. Okay, now the calculator says, again, invest 2 units per spin. So we're going to rebet. Okay, and we're going to include, again, we're supposed to use the sequence of numbers for the number 17. So whatever this was, we were supposed to use the sequence of numbers for 17 and put those 6 numbers in, whatever they may be. We're not. We're actually showing you we have we're going to use a different number from here as if that was the number that came down and not 17. And still, this thing is going to do its job regardless. Okay. Um, so let's do this. Um, and we're going to show you. We're just trying to demonstrate how it works. Okay. So your total bet is 24. Okay. Now, here's where we go. There's your first hit, 72. Okay. So you're going to put 72 in the return column. Did you make it your $20 or more target? You're at $36, folks. The time is 11:24. In 4 minutes, you've made $36. Is your job paying you $36 for 4 minutes? No. Most people, if they're making $20, $25, $30 an hour, an entire hour, you've just made $36 in 4 minutes. So this is why we say, can you make $50 or more in a half hour? Sure. Can you make $100 an hour playing using our systems? Of course. And if you played for 3 hours a day, that's $300 times 30 days. If you played 30 days, that's $9,000 a month. You have $100,000 a year income using our matrix system, okay, and our matrix calculator. Okay, so now you had a win. So now, obviously, you're going to take a break, a 10-minute break, because you just made $36 in 4 minutes. So we're just going to close the wheel and we're going to reopen it and pretend that we took a 10-minute break. Okay. And now, of course, the odds are going to start back at 35. One thing that I did forget to mention, I think I should. If you have 3 losses in a row for some reason, you are going to stay with the current numbers that you have on the board. You are not going to bring in a 4th sequence, or you're not going to change the sequence of numbers you have already. All you're going to do is, based on the calculator, you'll put in the odds for the 5th one, or the 4th one actually, and whatever the calculator says, you're going to bet that plus 1. So let's say you had 3 misses. Just for some reason you had 3 misses, and you put in the odds will be 34, this will be 33, this will be 32. Let's say the invest amount says 3. So it's going to be 3 plus 1, which is 4. So once you get past 3 misses, if that happens, and that's rare, but it does happen, you whatever the calculator says, if it says 3 units, you put 3 units plus 1 more, 4. If for some reason you have another miss and it says 5 units, it'll be 5 plus 1 more, 6 units times the amount of numbers. Okay, and it's the same numbers until you hit. So let's close the wheel and reopen it and pretend it was 10 minutes later. Okay, so we're back. Now we're just going to pretend this was 10 minutes later. Okay, and then we'll put the time in, when we get ready to roll. Okay, so you took a 10-minute break. Remember, we had $36 in 4 minutes. Okay, and obviously, again, we're going to go through that routine. Normally, this is what would happen. You would use the sequence of numbers for the number 20. Now, doesn't mean that whatever number I choose to use, because the number is 20 is covered, doesn't mean that that's the sequence. I'm just saying this is the sequence of numbers. You would use 20 plus the other 5 numbers, whatever it may be. Okay, so if 20 said it was 20, 23, 26, 29, 32, and 35, that's the numbers you would play. Okay, times the amount of units. Okay, so let's just free spin here for a short time, just so we can show you. Doesn't matter, the system works, and our sequence of numbers, it'll throw the wheel off. The wheel has no idea where you're going. Normally we don't do this. It's 20 is your number, and that's a sequence. If you hit, you hit. If you miss, you would rebet, and you would use the sequence for the number 26. You put that into the into the grid on a table. You would put in the number 20 here. You will get your numbers, and you make your bet. If you had a miss for some reason, then your next bet, this keeps jumping up and down, then your next bet would be, you'll put in the number 26. If you had a miss, it will give you the sequence of numbers, and you place your bet, and so on. Okay, so let's spin away here. Okay. All right, so let's do this. Let's use again. I'm choosing a number from here, and I pretty much know what the sequence is going to be. So um, okay, let's say it's 12. So we're going to use whatever the number was, and it told us to bet 12. Now we're going to start the time again. Okay, so we just said we came back in a few minutes. It's 11:29. Let's see. Let's see what the outcome is going to be. Okay, and we're looking for a $20 target. Remember, you were at 1,036. Okay, and in theory, this is very important. I should point this out. You set your target at $6 a spin. You started with $1,000. Okay, 1,000 units. In 2 spins, and that's when you hit. 6 and 6 is 12. 2 spins, 6 first spin, 6 second spin. That's 12. Your bankroll should actually be showing 1,012. It was showing 1,036. You basically won this spin, getting 24 back, won this spin, getting your 12 back, and getting $6 for each of those spins because that's what you asked for. You should be at 1,012. You were at 1,036. So this is showing 24 because we've put this 12 out for this new current bet. Well, we'll show you now. So let's get going here. Okay, and you had a miss. So what would happen is you would rebet, go into the calculator here, you put in 34. Okay, so you're going to rebet those numbers, and you're going to put in the sequence numbers for number 22. Okay, well, we're not using that sequence of numbers. So let's go here. Okay, so let's assume that it was that. Well, it isn't that because we would be betting 22 as well, right? Whatever your sequence number is that comes down, that's one of the 6 numbers that you're going to play. We're not using that. So this would be 24. Okay, and let's bet. Guess what? Another hit. Kind of expected that. Okay, because that actually would have fell into one of the sequence we had. So you're now at, let's see, 1,072. Look at here. The time is 11:31. Folks, you started at 11:20. In 4 minutes, you made $36. Here, in 3 minutes, you made another 36. In 7 minutes, you made $72. In 7 minutes. Obviously, that's within your first half hour. So you've already cleared $72 in only less than 10 minutes. What do you think you're going to make in that half hour? You're going to make $100 in that half hour. So for that hour, you should have easily made $200. And if you played for 5 hours, well, it's $1,000 a day. Is your job paying you $1,000 a day? Figure that out. If it's not, well, you're in the right place. Now, this is what's very important we want to show you. Let's remove all this so we can actually show you exactly what's going on here. Okay, you've had a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 spins. What did you ask for as your profit per spin? You wanted $6. That's all you wanted, is you wanted a $6 profit. And it's only 7 minutes, right? You won this, and you said, okay, well, I lost here because there was 0 return and I lost here. In fact, you really didn't lose. You made each one of these spins, all 4 spins were winners. You turned them into automatic wins. How do you know that? Because you got back your $12 plus a $6 profit because you asked for that per spin. You got back your 24 plus a 6. You got back your 12 plus a 6. And you got your 24 plus a 6. Guess what you just did? 1, 2, 3, 4 spins. You asked for $6. 6 times 4 is 24. Your bankroll should be showing 1,024. Okay, well, you started 1,000. I'm sorry. Your bankroll should be showing 1,024. It's showing 1,072. You got all your money back, plus $6 for each spin, which is $24, and you've exceeded that, okay, by almost 50 bucks. This calculator is just amazing. But it's the sequence of numbers that's the biggest attribute to all of this. The wheel doesn't know where you're going next. And that's what makes it so powerful. Okay? So as you can see, in a matter of less than 10 minutes, you are at $72 ahead. You're obviously going to make 100 bucks in a day. You're going to make that in your first hour. So even if you stop playing at that, $100 a day, and you played 5 days a week, it's 500 a week times 4 weeks, it's $2,000 a month, and all you spent was a half hour of your time. Now, if you play for a couple hours a day, you're talking about 200 a day. You know, um, or let's say you played for 3 hours a day. 300 a day times 5, it's 1,500. $6,000 a month unanswered, $72,000 a year, and you're spending 3 hours of your time, but you're not playing for 3 hours because, like I said, this all happened in the space of 10 minutes. You were $72 ahead. So that's how this thing works. Okay, the Matrix calculator is truly an amazing piece of work. And again, you're pretty much gonna, on day one, it's gonna pay for itself. Okay. What we strongly suggest is, you have different options right now. You go to your subscription plans, and hang on a second here. You have the silver plan and the gold plan. And people are going to say, well, what's the difference? The difference is $50. This is for 2 weeks, 14 days. You have 24-hour use. Okay. You're at $72 in 4 minutes. I think this entire 2 week plan for 175, you're going to make this on your first day. So this will be out of the picture. You're going to recover this fee the first day, and then you have you have 13 days. Even if you made $100 a day, you're going to make $1,300, and this was already covered. You already got the money back for this. The gold plan is 300 bucks. It's for 30 days because you're saving $50. You're actually saving 50 bucks by doing this. 175 times bi-weekly, which is 350. This is 300. And of course, believe it or not, you can actually make this on your first day. Okay, so in summation, if we made $72 in 10 minutes, I think if we played for an hour, we're going to make pretty close to this 300. Certainly, we know we're going to make this. Okay, yeah, you're going to have some times that you're going to have a few misses, but again, literally, I mean, you don't want to get greedy as well, okay? Because literally, a person could just do this, okay, and they've missed. The program is still so proficient that no matter how much you keep going, look, now you're down, you're losing that money. You don't have to worry. You're getting it back. Look, you got it all back. So you imagine you just missed, and you got it all back. Literally, you missed again. Okay, so person's getting greedy. I'm just showing you with greed what will happen. So now you're back down. You're still ahead. Now you're back to where you started. The program is still so powerful, the sequence of numbers, that even at best, I'm just showing you something here. Okay, look, now you're down 50 bucks. We wouldn't even be worried about it. Why? Because the system is that good. Okay, our matrix sequence is really that good. Enough that you can literally sit there and have a few missing runs, but when you're increasing and you're placing the right numbers, the right sequence of numbers, you're not going to keep rebetting the same numbers, obviously, because 15 has a different sequence of numbers, and so does 10, so does 25. Okay, but once you are like you have two misses in a row, okay, theoretically here, I can actually, by virtue of this, I know exactly what I can do. Okay, I can increase my bets, and I'm using the numbers of one of my other sequence of numbers. Okay, and I'll show you right here. Okay, so in case you had a miss for, say, 3 misses or whatever in a row. Okay, It may seem like a crisis, but in theory, it's not. Okay, because the syllabus is really that powerful. Okay, so now you're down to 838. Wouldn't be the least bit worried. Why wouldn't you be worried? Because it's never going to tank out your entire bankroll. You're going to end up with a run that's going to bring you right back into the game because of those numbers. Okay, and you're going to see for yourself. Okay, it's not taking. It won't. Trust me, it will not take that long, and your entire bankroll, if anything, will be recovered before you even, before even 10 minutes have gone. It'll recover. So you're back down again. Doesn't matter. The numbers are just there. They're just that powerful. Okay, the sequence of numbers to literally get you back your entire bankroll. Okay, there you go. Actually put you ahead by 18. Okay, if I just stuck to that sequence, now look, you're $108 ahead now. And this was, I don't know, 5 or 6 spins. Hey, how could you go wrong? Again, we're using the correct sequence of numbers, but we didn't tell you what numbers they were on the board. The matrix calculator is really the tool to have. Okay, if you want to make, anywhere between $100 and $500 a day, very possible. If you want to make easily, $100 an hour, and I don't know if most people, if your job is paying you that much, but $100 an hour, that's within reach with no hesitation. Come visit us, www.spinpro17.com. Choose your subscription plan, access your calculator, go get your training videos. It'll take you 5 or 10 minutes to go through the videos, and or actually 5 or 10 minutes per video to really of the written instructions to understand, and then each video with the written instructions should be take you 10 minutes to look through the instructions. And certainly you practice for a little while and get on any wheel and take that wheel as your prisoner. We hope this video tutorial has been informative for you, and hope to see you as one of our valued customers. Good luck, and thank you for viewing the video of SPINPRO17.com and the Matrix Calculator.